It's about your health, your home, your business, and your money. It's all about London, and it starts right now. You're listening to Saturday Mornings with Cheryl Weedmark on AM980. Now here's your host, Cheryl Weedmark.
All right, Rita DeBook is London's newest literacy advocate. Have you met her? Starting on May 27th and every Thursday until July 29th, Rita will be hanging out somewhere in London. And for those that don't know, Rita, well, she's not really a person. We have Tamara and we have Milroy joining us from Literacy Link South Central to introduce us to London's newest literacy advocate. I've met Rita. She's a wonderful woman, Milroy.
Oh, yeah. She draws stairs everywhere we take us. So it's, especially during the transfer parts. So it's been a great experience so far working with Rita. Yeah, it's
what is Rita? What's going on here? Rita DeBook. Everyone's talking about her. She's on Facebook. She's randomly found at various places in the city, and she has an important message.
Well, I think Rita is that first step. It's that conversation starter, especially with when talking about literacy. It's something that we wanted to do that was a fun, fresh idea, and when the whole idea of bringing a mannequin and starting a contest about it to do with literacy, I think people just jumped on board just because it was a new idea altogether. So it's been great so far.
She's a mannequin.
Yeah, she's a mannequin, and took a while to find a mannequin store. Actually, you won't believe how difficult it is to go around town trying to find a mannequin for sale. and half the time, actually, mannequins have missing parts all over the place. So it was a little nerve-wracking going into a store and finding a bunch of single arms and legs all over the place, and then
she's well dressed.
Oh, yeah, she's very fashionable.
Are you in charge of that aspect?
Not at all.
No.
Apparently, according to the co-workers, my fashion sense isn't up to par. So I do definitely get some tidbits of information here and there.
It's a cool concept. It gets people talking, and I guess, Tamara, that's the whole idea, right? Is that you want to get people talking about this. The shocking statistic that I was reading, and one of the reasons for having this campaign is the fact that 40% of Canadian adults don't have the necessary literacy skills to cope in society. 40% of adults, like that's close to half of us.
Yeah, it is a really shocking number. And the reason why we wanted to do the Rita campaign is because there's a lot of people who could stand to improve their skills, especially because we talk about the literacy bar and we say that it's constantly rising. You need more literacy skills today to be able to get a job, keep a job, deal with all the paperwork, deal with all the technology that surrounds us now than you did 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And so it's never going to go backward. It's only going to go forward. So there's a lot of stats out there that talk about how 70% of people are going to need post-secondary to even enter the labor market in the not-too-distant future. So really what the Rita campaign is about, it's hopefully a gentle and fun reminder that we can all be thinking about our skills all the time. And it's not that we're saying that 40% of the population is illiterate. That's really important to say. They're not illiterate.
They just don't have the necessary skills to be competitive in the market, right?
Competitive is a wonderful word to use because that's really what we're talking about. If you want to have the advantage, if you want to be able to adapt to change. I think with the most recent economic downturn that we've seen, a lot of people were really impacted by that. And it's not because, again, that they were illiterate. They've just been doing the same jobs for a very long time, and now they have to try to take those skills and apply them in a completely different labor market. So that kind of change and adapting to that kind of change requires a certain level of literacy and numeracy skills. So really the Rita campaign is about encouraging people to be thinking about their skills in whatever way they need to think about them, think about their future, think about their families, how they're encouraging, literacy or the manipulation of information within their own family and setting that learning culture.
That's a good point. It's a really good point. How can Literacy Link South Central help?
Well, we do have a lot of phone calls that come in for people who are trying to find programs. So we connect with 23 adult literacy programs in our geographical area. And if anybody's looking for a literacy program, no matter where they're from in the province of Ontario, we can help you find a program that will hopefully work for you. And also, if people are interested in volunteering, increasingly we're getting phone calls from people who are like, yeah, I think I could help somebody else learn how to read. And we do have volunteer-based programs as well. So if you're one of those people, give us a call and we'll help you find a program where you can assist somebody else who's looking to improve their skills.
And again, it doesn't mean that you have to be illiterate to
No.
be able to benefit from this?
Absolutely not. We have people who are working on a grade 12 level of education, because for us, literacy is all the way from people who don't know the alphabet, all the way up to people who are planning for success in college programs. So anywhere along that spectrum, we deal with everything in between.
So, Milray, what are you hoping people are going to walk away from knowing with the Rita DeBook? I love the Rita DeBook. It was one of those moments, I think, you guys were on daytime on Rogers Television with us, and I was like, Rita DeBook, and then I went home and I went, Rita DeBook. I get it. I maybe need some of your services at Literacy Link South Central.
A few minutes for it to click in.
Exactly. I'm blaming it on the pregnancy right now, but that's only going to last for a couple weeks.
Oh, no, you can drag that out.
I can drag that out. Perfect. What are you hoping people will walk away learning?
I think it's what we're hoping is a perspective change. As Tamara mentioned, when you mention statistics when it comes to literacy, there's often and a perspective already in place in the community when it comes to literacy, because it's often either literate or illiterate. And what we're hoping with Rita is first to start the conversation on literacy, but then get people thinking about how there actually is a spectrum within literacy, and that there are a lot of people who, could either benefit from these programs or help others, work towards building their skills to cope in a world where, technology evolves every day.
And things are getting more competitive. And if you want to even continue to make yourself that much more employable, you can't really be naive enough to think that your education ended when you graduated. It's a continuous thing, and we're always wanting to better ourselves, really.
That's a really good point. And we're also looking at, as Milroy said, trying to remove some of the stigma that is attached to literacy. We don't want it to be a negative word. We want it to be a positive word, and encourage people to think about not only how literacy applies to the labor market, which is really important and a central part of most of our lives, but also how it applies to what we do in the rest of our lives, how we interact with our communities, how people volunteer. Do you put yourself forward to sit on committees and coach your kids' soccer if you're uncomfortable about your level of literacy skills? So we're looking at all of those things.
People who spot Rita are asked to call the Rita DeBook hotline and give their name and phone number, Rita's location, and also an explanation of how Rita's activity is related to literacy. A winner is going to be drawn from all of those that call the hotline that day. And the Fresh FM Summer Cruiser will find Rita every Thursday and announce the winner from that location. Thank you so much to both of you for coming in today.
Thanks for having us.
The website is haveyouseenrita.com for details. You can also add Rita as a friend on Facebook. She's very chatty. She updates you. She gives you clues throughout the week as well. We have some free stuff, about $150 worth of various giveaways from organizations that actually have partnered with Literacy Link South Central and this campaign. So to win this, give us a call, 643-2222. What is Rita's last name? That's the question that I'm asking for. What is Rita's last name? 643-2222 to win. Coming up after the break, it's Mommy Mornings with Children's Furniture Gallery, rocking chairs and gliders. Are they worth the investment? We're going to find out. This is the last Saturday Morning with Cheryl Weidmark. Thanks so much for all of your support this past year. We'll be back after this break.